Make today iconic. What is up, guys? It's Upcome back with another realistic rebuild here on my channel. In this one, we're doing the Orlando Magic Super Realistic Series. One of you did comment that you wanted me to do this video, so I'm going to do it. Trade Override is going to be on. Most of you guys know why. If you do not know, 2K is usually unfair with the trades, and that's why I like to make my own trades that I think are fair for both teams. But here are the settings that I'm going to be using for this series, and you guys can pause those, look through those if you want. If not, then we'll get right into it. The Orlando Magic have not been relevant in probably more than a decade, but ever since Dwight Howard was there and brought them to the finals, they did end up losing to Kobe though. So here's the roster. Nikola Vucevic having an amazing season for the Magic in real life, averaging like 21 and 12. Aaron Gordon not having that much of a better season than last season, so that's kind of a bummer. But Mo Bamba is a nice piece that the Magic do have. I'm not sure if we're gonna start him. Probably not, because they're not in real life and he's not getting too many minutes. But Jonathan Isaac is also someone who I don't know if he's gonna be a franchise piece for us, so we'll see how he develops. But one thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be turning on storylines for the NBA draft. So if you guys don't know what this is, it's a new feature in NBA 2K19. You can go to the draft and it'll say, do you want to apply storylines? And if you do, it'll just allow for more randomness. You won't know exactly what the player ratings are or their potentials, which allows for draft busts and sleepers and just adds more realism. I think it's more interesting. So as far as player mentorship, we are going to let Vucevic mentor Aaron Gordon. I'm not sure. We're probably going to try to find a trade partner for Vucevic and try to get some value for him. He is on a one-year deal, but Jonathan Isaac will be mentored by Fournier. Maybe he can teach him a little bit of shooting, because Jonathan Isaac not really the best shooter in the world. Great defender though, so we'll see if he can develop into a good offensive weapon. And then Mo Bamba also by Vucevic. So for now, this is what the rotation is going to be. We obviously don't have a great point guard. DJ Augustine will be a solid point guard for now, but Vucevic, as I said, we'll try to find a trade partner. And Melvin Frazier, who they did take in the second round, I am going to send to the G League. And we'll check out system proficiency. And it looks like pace and space is probably going to be the best one here. We'll stick with that. So injuries are on for this realistic rebuild, and Jonathan Isaac, it seems, is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. That's really bad. And right now we're not really losing that many games, so we're actually competing for a playoff spot, so that's going to hurt us a lot. And if we do end up having a lot of injuries or just losing a lot of games, then we might just go into tank mode. And another big injury here, DJ Augustine this time, 4 to 6 months is going to be out. We were already low at the point guard position, and now it looks like Jerry Grant's going to have to start for us, and that's not going to be good at all. So we definitely could trade Vucevic for a point guard or just stick with him and see what happens. But we are going to call up Isaiah Briscoe from the G League, and he's going to get some minutes as our backup point guard, and he might even start if Darian Grant's just being horrible. So due to all the injuries and our record, we have a losing record right now. I've decided to trade Nikola Vucevic, who's having a really good season, averaging a double-double, can shoot the 3-ball. And the trade's going to be a little iffy here because we are going to take a risk. But yet, Vucevic is only on a one-year deal, so we might lose him in free agency. So it kind of works out for all the teams. The Sixers get Rudy Gay, a wing, which they desperately need. He can also play the power forward. And we get Markelle Fultz. Still has a lot of potential. Maybe a change of scenery will allow him to unleash that. So here's the rotation for now, and as you guys know, Markelle Fultz has been battling shoulder issues or mental issues, whatever it may be. So we're going to actually rest him for the remainder of the season and have a full healthy Markelle Fultz for next season. So we're here at the trade deadline, and we're going to check out the record and the standings. We're actually 21-34, only about 6 games behind the 8th seed in the East, which is really bad, but and it looks like just after the trade deadline, Jonathan Isaac is back and ready to go, so we'll get him back into the lineup, and he'll get some minutes. Hopefully he can still get enough minutes to progress and get better, but he still needs to stay healthy. And here at the contract extension deadline, we are going to extend Evan Fournier. He's a 79 overall, good shooter on about $10 million a year. Not too bad. And how ironic, just as we extend Fournier, he gets injured for 2 to 4 weeks. So he'll get some minutes to some other guys. They'll get a little bit of a chance here to show their talents. And we might even start Jonathan Isaac. So after the season, Kevin Durant wins the MVP, DeAndre Ayton Rookie of the Year, Giannis Defensive Player, and Buddy Hield Most Improved, with Nick Nurse being the Coach of the Year. And I doubt anyone on our team made an All-NBA team. Yeah, it would be really surprising if they did. But Mo Bamba on the All-Rookie team, averaging some pretty good numbers after being named the starter after that Vucevic trade. But we were the 10th seed, it looks like, so we're not going to have that high of a pick, but we'll still have probably a top 10 pick, considering we're in the East. So we'll try to make our best pick, and probably, with the Magic's luck, we'll try to not draft someone who's going to be a bust, but we'll try our best there. And yeah, it looks like the West did barely better than us, so we will have a top 10 pick. The Sixers were the 3 seed, so probably Rudy Gay helped him out, and Vucevic did get injured for the Spurs, if you guys did not see that. Aaron Gordon led us in scoring, averaging about 20 points per game. So he's going to be a good scorer for us. We'll probably keep him around. And Jonathan Isaac did improve from his rookie season, so that's good. So it is going to be a Raptors-Warriors finals, as usually happens in the first season in NBA 2K19. And usually the Raptors win. And they do win here in 7, Kawhi Leonard Finals MVP. Draft lottery time, and it looks like we have the 7th pick projected, and we do stay at 7. So with the 7th pick, it looks like Cam Reddish is still here, but again, storylines are added, so we don't know any of these guys' ratings for sure, and it could turn out to be anything. And again, with the Orlando Magic, it's going to be pretty big to get a superstar in this draft and not get a draft bust. So we will take Cam Reddish, small forward. We need some wing help. And also, for some reason, the Magic have 20 billion second-round picks, so we're going to take Jalen Horde. Usually a top 10 pick without the storyline, so we'll see if we get lucky. And also in the second round, we're going to take Sagava Konate out of West Virginia. Project player. He should be the backup center. If we don't find anyone else, then he'll be the backup center, obviously. So here's the roster for the second season. We didn't do much in free agency. We did sign Jeff Green, and Cam Reddish did end up turning out to be a superstar with superstar potential. 91 overall potential, so that's good for us. Hopefully he can reach that and not be sidelined by injuries. So here's the rotation for this season. Markelle Fultz is going to be our starting point guard, and it's going to be big for him to prove himself. He's got 2 more years under his rookie contract, so these 2 years are going to be huge to see if we offer him a deal or not. And we are going to send a couple guys to the G League here, but you guys can see our system proficiency is probably going to change since we have a lot of new players. And it looks like we're going to go with 7 seconds here. So interestingly enough, we've had no major injuries, and I think we've only had a couple of small injuries. So we're already at the trade deadline, and we're not doing too bad. We're definitely better than last season at the trade deadline. So hopefully we can keep on track and hopefully make the playoffs. So a big injury here. Aaron Gordon's going to be out for a couple of weeks. And this is huge because we're only a couple games back of the 8th spot. And this might lead us into getting a top 10 pick, which would also be good because we're still rebuilding. But what we're going to do is we're going to play Jonathan Isaac at the 4, and I think he has the size to play there, so we'll be fine. So in this season, Giannis wins the MVP for the Bucks. RJ Barrett on the Bulls. Pretty good fit there. Rookie of the Year, and Nick Nurse again, Coach of the Year again for the Raptors. So I doubt anyone made an All-NBA team. Maybe a defensive team for someone, but it looks like Cam Reddish is on the rookie team, averaging about 11 points per game and 3 assists, 3 rebounds. But we were the 10th seed again. We did fall off a bit there at the end. Towards the end of the season, we lost a lot of crucial games that could have maybe put us in the playoff spot. And Aaron Gordon, again, our leading scorer. I expect that to be Cam Reddish eventually, but Fournier having a little bit of a down season. Mo Bamba, though, really good season from him. Markelle Fultz. I like to see a little bit more from Markelle. Some good numbers would be maybe 14 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists, which I think he can do with his size. So here it's going to be a Lakers-Celtics finals. Surprisingly, this usually never happens. So it looks like the Lakers are going to sweep the Celtics. LeBron getting his 4th ring. So in the draft lottery, it looks like we are projected the 9th pick. Could we get lucky? And we do not. We have the 9th pick in the draft. So a couple of guys that we really wanted in the draft were LaMelo Ball and Cole Anthony. 2 point guards that could be franchise players for this organization if Markelle Fultz doesn't work out. And we're going to trade for Cole Anthony here. He was taken with the 3rd overall pick by the Kings, but they already have De'Aaron Fox, which was a stupid decision. So we're going to give them a lot of assets here, a lot of 2nd round picks, and also another 1st round pick and the 9th pick, plus Evan Fournier. So as you guys can see, De'Aaron Fox, there's no reason to doubt De'Aaron Fox at this point. He hasn't had a lot of injuries, and he averaged pretty good numbers. And here in free agency, as you guys know, Orlando is not really the most attractive market out there. So we're going to have to overpay for these restricted guys. And hopefully one of the organizations just sleeps on a guy and we get a superstar like Jaylen Brown, or even Karis LeVert would be a nice fit here. And we're also going to throw a deal at Buddy Hield. He'd also be a nice fit on this team. Get some shooting on this team, which is really all we need. We've got a lot of defenders. And we landed Jaylen Brown. The Celtics did not match his offer. We did throw him a lot of money. That's probably why they couldn't bring him back. They also had to bring back Terry Rozier and a couple of other guys. So we got really lucky. We threw him a lot of money. So I think the team is set now. Still a very young piece, Jaylen Brown. And I'm really liking this defensive mindset we have going on. So this season is huge for Markelle Fultz. He still has not proven that he can be a franchise point guard. And this is going to be his first healthy season as the starter. So we're going to have him and Cole Anthony about the same minutes. And at the trade deadline, we're going to make a decision on who's going to be our franchise point guard. And the other one will be either the backup or maybe Markelle Fultz. We won't sign back in the offseason because he is on a 1-year deal, his last year of his rookie contract. And this is a big season for Markelle. We're going to send Melvin Frazier again to the G League. So system proficiency, we will keep it at 7 seconds. Last year, you guys remember, we had a very healthy season. This year, not so much at the beginning. Mo Bamba is going to be out 2 weeks with a small injury, but still, it affects our team. And our 2nd rounder, Konate, is going to fill that role for a bit. So, good news, Mo Bamba is back after just missing a week and a half, which is really good news because we had gone on a 4-game losing streak with Mo Bamba out of the rotation. So we'll have him back and it'll be nice. Here, another big injury to our team. Jonathan Isaac off the bench. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks again. And we might have to let Jonathan Isaac walk when his contract is up if he cannot stay healthy. We got a lot of other guys with potential. So at the trade deadline, we are actually doing really well. We're only 1 game back from the 8th seed, the 8th seeded Bulls, so we can definitely get up there. But Jonathan Isaac was a huge loss for our defensive scheme. But just as I said, we're going to check out how the point guards are doing. Markelle Fultz, about 10 points and 5 assists. Shooting 10% from 3. Absolutely horrible. Cole Anthony, averaging 12 points and 5 assists on way better 3-point shooting. So we are going to replace Markelle Fultz with Cole Anthony. And I'm sorry, Markelle, but you are a draft bust. And here we're going to be making a small trade. Seth Curry and also a 2nd round pick for Wayne Ellington. Hopefully the Heat will agree to this. If not, then I'll have to throw in another 2nd rounder. But they should agree to this. Get some 3-point shooting off the bench with Jonathan Isaac out. So here's the rotation after that trade. Jonathan Isaac is back and ready to play. So he's going to be big for us. And we are fighting for a playoff spot still. So it's going to be interesting. So at the contract extension deadline, we are going to extend Aaron Gordon for a long contract. I think this team is set, so we're just going to try to bring back everyone and just build on the bench. So some really bad luck here. Wayne Ellington is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks after we had just gotten him in a trade. So it's going to hurt our bench a little bit, but we should be able to make up for it with some of these other guys. So for the season, it looks like Stephen Curry is going to win the MVP, still on the Warriors. Cole Anthony wins the Rookie of the Year, averaging about the same numbers as the trade deadline, but now is the starter. And Terry Stotts actually wins Coach of the Year for the Blazers. Did anyone make an All-NBA team? Looks like they did not, but Cole Anthony obviously on the All-Rookie first team, and also Jalen Horde made it on a team as a 2nd round pick. And we did make the playoffs, if you guys didn't see, as the 6th seed. So that's a huge improvement from the past 2 years and really this whole decade. So we'll be playing the Indiana Pacers, who signed Kevin Durant. Okay, great luck there, just playing Kevin Durant in the first round. Should be interesting, but we definitely have enough pieces to get past them. So if we have a couple of good games, then we might be up on them. But Mo Bamba keeps improving every season. Markelle Fultz will probably be gone. So here's the Indiana Pacers roster. Kevin Durant, obviously the 2nd best player in the NBA. Not having really that great of a season. Victor Oladipo, also a good superstar. And this team's all around pretty good. And it looks like they don't have any huge injuries, but Sabonis. So here in the first round, let's see if we can get past these Pacers. They do end up winning game 1. Kevin Durant with 29 points. Aaron Holiday also 23 points. And Cole Anthony with a big game with a double-double with assists and points. Game 2, we do tie up the series 1-1. And it looks like KD went off again. Yeah, we're not really going to stop KD, which is why I didn't have a game plan for this. Usually we'll try to double team the other team's best player, but this team's an all-around team, so that wouldn't really make much sense. And KD can really do it all. But surprisingly here, we're going to take a 2-1 lead. We had 3 20-point scorers in this game. Markelle Fultz actually put up 20 points. Also, Aaron Gordon. Well, it looks like KD has simmered off a bit. He's not as hot as he was. And we do take a 3-1 lead now. This is insane. Kevin Durant, it looks like, back with kind of what was with OKC with Westbrook and him. But yeah, it's not looking good for the Pacers right now. Can we close it out in 5 games? And we do. So we're going to eliminate Kevin Durant in the first round. Just incredible. But this has a lot to do with our defensive makeup. A lot of guys who have a lot of defensive versatility. And we also got a lot of playmakers like Cole Anthony and Cam Reddish. So that's going to be helpful. So in the next round, we are going to be playing the Celtics. Kyrie Irving, Jason Tatum, all the guys. Except for Jaylen Brown, because obviously we have him. But still an all-around team. Not really a straightforward game plan for this team. So let's see if we can pull off another upset here against the Celtics. They do win game 1. Jason Tatum leading the way with 27 points, 10 rebounds. Kyrie with 22. Looks like Aaron Gordon tried his best with another 20-point game here, but it wasn't enough. Jaylen Brown having a really bad game there. 2-0 the Celtics now. Really in a hole now. And it looks like Kyrie's been leading the way with his scoring. But our defense should be able to keep up with this team either way. I'm just not too sure about the scoring. As you guys can see, we've been low scoring all throughout these playoffs. And we lose game 3. Cam Reddish with 22 points. Jaylen Brown not really having his best playoff series against his former team. But Kyrie Irving and Jason Tatum just leading the way. Are we going to get swept? We do get swept here. Looks like Mo Bamba had a double-double, 19 points. Jonathan Isaac, the second leading scorer. We can't have them two being the leading scorers and expect to win. But Kyrie and Tatum, again, going off. Tatum with 27. So it's going to be a Blazers-Celtics finals. Let's see if we lost to the eventual NBA champions. And it looks like the Blazers actually swept them. Damian Lillard finals MVP. Will the Magic ever get back to the finals? Will they ever get back to relevancy? Make sure to watch part 2 to find out. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos.